This video is about my DIY body scrubber. This video is made for people with disabilities who have like fatigue and pain or limited strength. This scrubber is a bit heavy for someone who has a lower strength threshold, but it can still be used quite effectively. Especially if you use it for areas where you could get with two hands, hold it with two hands. This is a scrubber you can get on Amazon. You can get them on Walmart.com, places like that. They're generally used to clean the walls, but the thing that's different is this right here. When I got this, it didn't have this piece on. What it had was blue bristles on this plastic piece. It came with other parts like this where you could switch out pads like this, smaller. You see that it's not as big around as the scrubber I've added on. This whole part is something you can make yourself. I did it myself. You will need whatever kind of scrubbing thing you want. If you prefer to use a sponge, you could do that. I wouldn't say use a washcloth because it's too floppy. You could put some of those fluffy type scrubby things on, but I can't guarantee you how well they'll hold up, staying glued and attached. On account of most of them come apart anyway. So what I used, I got from a hardware store, these type of scrub pads. They generally are a lot more rough when you first get them, but by like using two hands and you holding it and use two hands and you scrub it together, it creates a nice, very quickly gets very soft. So for the size I wanted, I used a piece of firm gray foam that my son had left over from, it was a memory foam mattress, but there was a lot of the layers of the foam that were like so new and untouched. So we salvaged that for different purposes, and it came in handy for this project. I also got a Dollar Tree net laundry bag and used the back side of it because the zipper was on the front side. So I made sure that I cut my foam to the size that would fit that back side of the laundry bag, and that the laundry bag would still wrap around and touch. Give me 1 second. So this laundry bag would wrap around, not including this. This wasn't on yet, but just the foam part, wrapping around and putting a twist tie on it, but having applied E6000 to the edge first, then wrapping it around, putting the twist tie to hold it there, letting it dry overnight, then cut, leaving a ½ inch around of this part here, so not to cut off the glued place. Moving in a ½ inch, I cut off the excess, and then I applied to this piece, which before I could use it, it had blue bristles, and I took a pliers, pulled out all of the blue bristles from this piece here, and put E6000 on it, lined it up carefully on this thing I created, this foam part and scrubby part, and I made sure it was in the center and glued this on and then left it overnight. Then I also added this stuff, and you could see that the scrub stuff was not wide enough, so I cut it as wide as it would go because it was about this wide altogether, and I just kind of cut the edge and then used the second one to make the difference here complete and glued them with the E6000. You don't want to use so much E6000 that it's coming through it, but you want to use enough that it's going to hold and stay really good. Before I glued this on too, I drilled holes in it for drainage because I was really worried about mildewing, but it really wasn't necessary because I found that it's super easy to dry and clean. I just hold it under the shower. You could do it under the tub or whatever. I like using the shower setting, shower head setting of like Jet, and it really like cleans, and then I just shake all the liquid out, shake it really hard and get the liquid out. And then and whatever difference is, still moist. I don't put it set it here so it could become mildewy. I put it straight back on to the scrubber. So when I'm loading it with soap and I'm pumping soap, what I do is that's my clumsy hands. I hold it underneath and just let it load. And you can hear that this one's getting a little bit older. The battery is low on it, but this makes it so easy to wash yourself without having to use your whole arm. If you're a fatigued person, you can just glide it, especially when the battery is charged, it goes faster. And if it starts to get low, you can agitate it while you're cleaning. It gets softer with time for sure, even though it's pretty soft when you first start. And you're able to do even your underarms and the tender part, like the backs of behind your knee, behind your knee legs, ankles and tender areas. It doesn't hurt. And if it ever gets old, you can just cut this free. I use the box cutter, for most things, but you can just use a box cutter and take that off. I recommend, if you have strength issues, to ask a relative or a friend to help you construct this. Now I'm going to talk about the battery, because I bought 2 of these. The more expensive one was about $54, but it came with a lot of parts that I use for other things. This one was $19. The $50 one had a solid battery that just slides in and you recharge it in a little charger. This one is cheaper, it's a no-name brand, and it lasts way longer. I buy these rechargeable Eveready batteries, and or Rayovac, okay, I'm corrected. Anyway, the Rayovac, and it takes 4 of those. Those, when you buy them, I got it at Walmart after the holiday, and it came with a charging thing for $7 a couple of years ago. This one was on Amazon, $19, and it had a couple of brush adapters, or things to. Anyway, I recommend this type. This battery type lasts a good deal longer than the solid one that slides in there. The other type is more expensive. The scrubber is more expensive, and it doesn't even last as long, even though it's a name brand. You want to make sure that this is really snug down, so you might have to help yourself by pushing it hard against something, to make sure that it's watertight. I want to explain too that when you have fatigue issues, an idea I did was put all my essential things, everything from a toothbrush and razor to shampoo, and I'm not going to show you all my personal effects, but using bungees, clips, duct tape, like everything is hung on a bungee, and then it's up there on a cord. I have these rolling type. These are about $6. I got, I think, 25 feet of this bungee for like $8 on Walmart and .com. And you want to put it on a shower curtain that's, you know, good metal, and make sure that up here it is resting on top of your tile if you can, or get those things that you will screw in to the wall and then set it inside of, because you don't want to be, you know, pulling and the thing, see, it's not gonna fall down on me because it's nice and secure. So you might need getting help from somebody, one of your care workers or family members or friends, to help you set that up. But the nice thing is like they slide, so you can move it where you are. You can move it out of your way. If it slips and drops, you know, it's rubbery and it's just gonna hang there, and you'll know exactly where it is. You're not gonna have to risk falling or slipping by bending down and losing your balance. If you're standing, you know, you can still grab up here on the thing and slide or pull it up to yourself. This helps me a lot to reach my back, because I can go like this down my back, and then with my arm behind me I can get the rest of the distance this way. This is a little bit on the heavy side for somebody that has a strength issue, but I think if you could get the most of yourself with two hands, if you have a strength issue, the bungee really helps you hold it so that it's not as heavy. And some of the weight of it, actually, like putting it on you, does a lot of the work here for you, so you don't have to push. And your care providers who are coming in and helping you to clean yourself can get you better clean with this than with a washcloth. And you know, if they haven't been able to come in and help you get clean for a little while, then you're gonna want to be clean, you know, like a nice good clean. And you don't, a washcloth just isn't gonna do that job for you if it's not done often enough. So but this will help you to be able to do self-care too, you know, so you don't have to be completely dependent on somebody else. When I load it full of shampoo, I turn it on and just stretch the bungee down, and I pump out my soap, and it just spins around really nice. And then I just rub it all into the stuff and make sure that the padding is good and wet, so that it gets really nice and bubbly and gives a really good lather. So, you know, better than any kind of scrubbing products I've ever bought. I've been through a lot of them, and they don't clean as well as this thing does. I know I could patent it, but I'm not interested in doing that. I want to help people be able to self-clean and care for themselves. This is just to help people with disabilities. This isn't meant for those people who can do everything for themselves and sit around in front of their computer all day looking for who they can troll and critique. this is for disabled people, and when I have difficulty talking about things, that's part of my disability, so I don't need your critique on that either. Going a little further, this bungee, I just take a lighter and light the end, the end to melt. I tie a knot and I lace it, and then I lace it one more time. To release this is very easy because all you have to do is begin pushing this part here back through the hole against this part, and that loop will just begin to get big and come loose. But while you're using it, it's really secure. It doesn't come undone unless you intentionally do it. And I've never had anything loosen on me. So this helps, so you don't drop your items and break them, or have to bend down and risk your balance, or your footing or your hold, so that you can sit in a chair, and when you need to, you can pull it. It's very stretchy, can go all the way down to the floor, and it's always, because it slides, it'll always be exactly where you want it, out of your way or right there while you're using it. So you can string several things on there. I have quite a bit of weight on it, and it doesn't come down. So this way everything is reachable, especially like your washcloth or your face towel to dry your eyes or face off with. You can put that on a bungee too. And there are these clips which I got also. So you can just attach a clip. All I did was just fold this in half and put it through there, and then slide that loop around the entire clip, and that's how that gets on there. Or you can tie it, you can do however you want. I have everything I use, I have it on a bungee. So this I hope this helps you find some independence and some relief from fatigue and pain, and risk of fall or balance issue things. So anyway, thanks for watching.